Here's a setting that's quietly costing you money. It's called effort. Claude Code has it, Codex has it, and most people read it as one thing: think harder. Wrong. Effort is a dial. It rates how deep the model thinks against what you pay. Turn it the wrong way, and you either overpay for nothing or you starve a hard problem. Both hurt. So let's fix it right now. Both tools, every level, and exactly when to move it. Let's go. So you might be wondering, what is effort? Both tools let the model reason before it answers. Effort sets how deep it goes: low, fast and cheap; high, slow and careful. Simple, but here's the part that matters. The reasoning is adaptive. The model already spends less on the easy steps. It's a permission to think deeper, only when the work needs it. Now, each model has its own levels. Now, the levels in Claude Code are 5 steps, basically: low, medium, high, extra high, and max. The default is high, but in Codex, it's 5 to 12: minimal, low, medium, high, and extra high. But the default is medium. Do you see the gap? Codex goes lower with minimal. Claude Code goes higher with max, and they start in different spots. So you might be wondering, what's each level for? The fast version: low or minimal for mechanical work, renames, quick fixes. Medium is for your everyday balance. High is for the hard reasoning, nasty bugs, real planning. Extra high is for the serious coding and long agent runs. Max is the deepest Claude Code can go. But heads up, past a point, Max overthinks. Higher is not automatically smarter. Think that in my experience, I've seen that I experimented with all these different effort levels, and I noticed that changes are minimal between each level. In my opinion, it doesn't even justify the cost of the tokens and the effort it took for that change. So it all, at the end of the day, if you want the quick summary for this, always start with the lower effort and go higher if the results are not sufficient for you. Now, here's the big one. Effort and model are two dials, not one. Your model is one choice. How hard it thinks is another. A cheap model doesn't make high effort free, and a big model doesn't make low effort dumb. So tune both. Right model for the job, right effort for the thinking. Treat them as one knob and you overpay every day. Treat them as two and you are in control. Think about it when you are listening to music. Sometimes you adjust the bass, sometimes you adjust the treble. It all depends on what you want and what kind of music you're playing. Same thing here. It's all basically two dials that you need to adjust and tune and fine tune sometimes to make sure that you are using the right model and the right effort and the right cost for the task that you're trying to do. And here is a quick myth. There is no secret ultra mode. The top is max in Claude Code and extra high in Codex. That's the ceiling. Yes, Claude Code has ultra code, but that's not a bigger brain. It's basically an extra high plus permission to run multi-step workflows, orchestration. So stop chasing ultra for everything. Chase the right level every time. So let me show you this very quickly. I'll show it to you in Claude Code and I'll show you in Codex. So if you go to Claude Code, I'm gonna open Claude Code. If you go to Claude Code, if you type effort, in Claude Code, it's two separate commands. Model and effort are two separate commands. So if you do model, I choose the model that I like, that I want to keep. Right now, I'm just using the default, which is Opus 4.8. Now, if I switch to the effort and you see what you have, the default, as I explained earlier, is high. You can go medium with the arrow keys, or you can go low, or you can go extra high, or you can go max. You see with the rainbow color, and ultra code, which gives you that pink animation. This is mostly for an ultra code is basically an extra high with the ability to create workflows. It's basically, and we can do a video on workflows, which is basically script that's on your machine that controls the flow, that if you have a step-by-step flow and you would like to do it that way. That's in Claude Code. So max, high, extra high, and high. The default is high. I usually I stick with the defaults. I go with high. and I go depending on the situation. I usually sometimes, depending on the task or what I'm trying to do, I go in high. Sometimes if it's something simple, I'm trying to find this string in a file, or I'm trying to update a few strings in a few classes in code, I can simply use Medium for that. I'm saying, but it all depends on what you're trying to do. Now let's go to Codex. If you go on Codex, in Codex, there is one slash command, which is slash model. So if you click on model, you choose the model that you want. So in this case, maybe I will choose GPT 5.6 Tera. So let's go with that. Now here I can choose which effort level I want. You can go for low, you can go for medium, you can go for high, and you can go for extra high and more reasoning. I think this one, what it does, uses more sub agents to finish the task. So as you notice here in Codex, medium is the default mode. So I usually start with the medium in Codex, and I go as things gets more complex, or if I see that I am not happy for any reason with the results. Now let me show you how you set up the model and the effort on the Codex desktop app. By the way, personally, I've been loving Codex. Codex has been working very well for me, especially their app. I love working with it, and it's been working very well for me. So if you look at this in here, you can set up the speed. This is how fast. Of course, you pay more. And you can set up the effort. You have all the efforts here, light, medium, high, and extra high. And here you can set up the model, which model you would like to choose. That's on the Codex desktop app. Now in Cloud Code, same thing. You can set up the model from here. You can choose which model you would like to use, and you can set up the effort here. It's like a dial. You can move it up or go high, medium, whatever you like. So it all depends on how. I've noticed in some situations that sometimes when the problem is too small and not too complicated, that sometimes the system, when the effort is in high, the system ends up using more time because it just keeps thinking over and over, which doesn't need all this. And keep in mind, all these thinking and all this effort is basically tokens that's going off your balance. So that's what I'm trying to encourage you is to think about the model and the problem. First, start with the problem, then start with the model, then see what effort you need for that job or that task. So let me give you a summary on when you should turn it up. You should turn it up only when the problem is genuinely hard, or when correctness matters more than cost, when you want to get something done correctly and you don't want to experiment. You have some level of confidence that this problem or what you're trying to accomplish needs to be correct, and for you the cost is not a big deal, or doesn't matter, or if it's a long multi-step task. The trick is when you give your agent the full brief upfront, it will definitely do it in fewer tries with less spend. And now let's talk about when we should turn it down. The task is mechanical, like what I mentioned earlier. Hey, replace the following string in all these files, or find me this receipt in this 3 spreadsheets, or find me this expense in this folder with 5 files. It's something mechanical that all agents are very familiar with. When you're iterating fast, you want to do something like a proof of concept, something very quick. Or when it's cheap, repeatable work. You've done it before with the same agent, and the agent already has some memory of what you've done. So you definitely, it's something repeatable that's been done many times before. So low and medium isn't just cheaper, often better on simple jobs. So it's not about just, don't think it's just because it's low or medium means it doesn't do well. No, it all depends on the task and what you're trying to accomplish. Now, here's the money trap that nobody warns you about, especially with Claude Code. These tools cache your conversation. Repeated context, almost free because it uses the cache to communicate with the model. But in Claude Code, changing your effort mid-session and that cache is gone. Switch your model is the same thing. So your next message reads at full price. So here is the rule. Always pick your model and the effort at the start, not halfway. Set it once and let the cache pay you back. In other words, switching the model or the effort in Cloud Code can reset the cache. which can lead to a bigger context and starting from scratch. So always decide on what you want to do and which model you want to use and which effort you want to use and go from there. For me, what I usually do, I like to work with work trees. So let's say if I have a task that I'm not sure how things will be, I could start with a medium or low, but in two different sessions and go from there. And then I can compare the results. And now I have two work trees and I can see. And based on my experience and what I tried with when experimenting with the different effort levels, I noticed, believe me, in most situations, of course, depending on the complexity, the changes are almost irrelevant and doesn't justify the cost. Here's a fast recap. Effort is a dial, not a smart button. Depth against time and money. Low for easy, high for hard. And don't slam it to max on reflex. It's separate from your model, so tune both. And set it up once, up front. Don't lose your cash. One move I advise you this week before you type in anything in Claude Code or Codex or before starting any session. Check your effort. Check the model. That one habit beats every prompt trick. I drop one of these every week. So if you run these tools, subscribe. It helps. And tell me in the comments what effort do you actually run. I want the real numbers. Keep shipping and I will see you in the next one.